Hello everybody, this is the Northeastern service of All India Radio, broadcasting from Shillong on All India Radio live streaming app, All India Radio Northeast DTH and on 100.1 MHz FM. We are also available on Alexa. Welcome to our Radio Breach program of Northeastern service of All India Radio. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. How strange it may sound, the education system strives to attain to this perfection. But the pandemic seems to bring all the turmoil to a standstill until everybody concerned resorted to online classes, live classes through TV or radio. So here with us, we have all our panelists and we are with you with the topic pandemic impacting a new education revolution. And we know that what's happening all around. In spite of all the measures regarding education, some are still holding their breath and waiting for everything to become normal. On the other hand, many started to believe that the lesson that this pandemic is giving us is a complete overhaul of the education system. Perhaps it is not about what the parents and the teachers are comfortable at, how easy or difficult it is to shake ourselves from the groove. But what is important is, if such a system of education was the most effective one, why didn't anybody over the world think about it earlier? Why did it need a pandemic to open our grey cells? Why are we considering a compulsion that arose out of a health threat being counted as an opportunity? Well, it doesn't matter what I think or feel, but I'm sure our experts tonight will be able to give us a true picture as to what is the cause and effect of every action or decision taken by the government, policymakers and others. So, in our program today, we shall connect to our panelists, Mr. Bhim Thatal, Director of Primary Education, Director of Samagra Shiksha, Government of Sikkim from Gangtok. We shall also connect to Mr. Mark V. Vannalrema, Assistant Professor, Government Saiha College, Mizoram. We'll connect to Dr. A.K. Mishra, State Liaison Officer, Higher and Technical Education, Government of Arunachal Pradesh from Itanagar, and Mr. Amrose Marak, Director of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Meghalaya from Shillong. Let us first connect to Mizoram. We welcome you to our program. Mr. Mark, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, it's wonderful to hear you as well. How is it in Mizoram, sir? Are you all resorting to fully online classes or live classes, or you are just passing on the materials to read through or go through? How is it?
As you all know, this happened, and it has really caught us by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at the surveys that's been going on, I'm quite surprised to myself that online classes have been conducted pretty well. Not just distributing notes, study materials, but also like real classes. Some of them resorted to YouTube live streaming and Zoom, and some of them even in rare cases Microsoft Teams. Also, they're employing.
So you left the choice to the teachers concerned and all that. All right, that's wonderful to hear that not only passing on the materials, but it has also been through various platforms that are available.
Yes.
Because you are dealing with students and teachers directly.
Yeah.
So my question to you will be twofold. One, how was the reaction of teachers when you were all first bid to make online classes? Was there any resentment at the beginning, or everyone felt the need of the hour? That's first part of my question. The second part is, how did the students take it? Because we assume that as young adults, college students, etc., they're supposed to be matured and would crave for knowledge. But again, we know there are some who would enjoy it as holiday or something. How was it?
Well, when all this happened, as far as the higher education is concerned, the state government issued a directive urging the college teachers to employ whatever means necessary at their disposal. So most of the colleges resort to one way or another of contacting and getting links with the students, and that's also kind of a labor of love. Even before the government issued the directive, some of us have already been doing it. So that's as far as the higher education is concerned. But for the primary, middle, and high school students, a lot of private schools or independent schools, we call it here, but they're also resorting to such platforms, and they've been doing very well, most of them. Yeah, the second question, that you ask, yes, some students, especially at the lower sections, they find it a little difficult to cope with it, and so the response,
That's very obvious.
26.4%. That's the number issued by Mizoram University that did research on this. Of the students were among the lower classes, lower sections, were supposed to have done it very well, responded very well.
Okay.
The rest, 33.7, didn't do very well, they say.
All right. So you have given us the figures as well. That makes us to think in terms of numbers and statistics. But again, I'm sure this question must be lurking in minds of all the listeners that apart from various equipment that were necessary for any kind of education, what we now need is an online platform. We need internet, and the reach out is the main concern. I'm sure some of the students from remote areas must be staying in hostel and studying in various colleges and universities, and they must have gone back home the moment lockdown was declared. But how are you ensuring that each and every one of those students are getting the facilities that are being provided?
Well, that is obviously a huge challenge, despite the colleges not being able to reach out to 100% of the students. Yet it goes on. I mean, we just can't stop our education. So in many colleges, we do this and reaching out to the students. Some of them, let's say, the number of students benefit are like 85% of the students are covered. Some of them like 100%. I'm talking about 24 colleges under Mizoram University.
Okay.
So
85 is a big number. 85 is a very positive number.
Yes, number. But for us, where I stay in a very remote area. I couldn't really get to the students because outside of the main town in the district, there's no signal possibility. So I was able to reach only about 50% of the students that I wanted to, reach.
Well, I love to hear that 85% more than the word 50%, but we can't deny the truth. So perhaps the rest 50% are yet to reach out to the area. We'll come back to this area of concern, which you are also equally concerned about. When we talk about Mizoram, we definitely talk about the literacy rate. For a long time, Mizoram was at the top of 100% literacy. So literacy being an important aspect of the education system, but this pandemic, I'm sure, has given a jolt to this effort of keeping up that 100% reach. So what do you think? Is it giving you a trouble, COVID-19, apart from an health threat?
Yeah, during the 2011 census, I think we were 91.58% in terms of literacy. And where I live in Sayha district, 79% are literate.
Okay.
Now, a touchstone cannot be used anymore now because we have another touchstone, digital literacy. So
okay.
Digital literacy is another kind of milestone that we have to cover. And when I look at the reports that came in the recent days, yes, obviously there are challenges because many teachers are handicapped. I won't say they will call themselves social dinosaur, but many.
But I like your term.
Yes.
You're talking about digital literacy. I mean, it has become digital literacy these days. We used to call it computer literacy earlier, but now it's digital literacy.
Yes.
Well, on that note, something really serious. So we understand that the medium that is the solace in this situation is the electronic medium, but mass communication is altogether a different arena. Not all involved with education are supposed to be acquainted with the know-how. I mean, communicating over camera and everything. So again, broadcasting or electronic media may not be aware. I mean, the people involved in broadcasting and electronic media may not be aware of the effective teaching process. How the students would take it and how they would actually get benefited. It would be interesting to know from you that how are things blend in these two areas involved in this effort. I again mean the people from the electronic media and the people from education. How do you blend them? Or you bid all persons? It's not possible, I guess, that all teachers would get acquainted. I mean, they have to get a degree in mass communication. That's not possible, I guess. So how do you blend these two areas?
Yes, obviously there is a challenge. And we need a huge effort in terms of our digital literacy, as I said. And the thing is, these young teachers are more fluent and more adroit in the use of this technology, and they're putting out.
The experienced are also listening.
Yeah, and then there are the senior folks also. They are really catching up very well. So I think the willingness is a lot more. I think when I look at these reports, I sense that young teachers, real budding teachers, are a lot more willing to take progressive steps in using this. Well, maybe reticent in using these new platforms. But nevertheless, when we look at the reports of the principals, most of them really support. I think more than half of them really supported the use. I'm talking about lower standard schools.
That's actually wonderful to know that Mizoram is really doing well. It seems, 85% in some colleges and 50% in some colleges. And the young teachers are more willing to get themselves digitally or in terms of mass communication, more acquainted with themselves, and even senior teachers are trying their level best.
Yes.
So are you resorting to any kind of specific platform, or you are, as you mentioned, the several platforms, you are leaving it, I guess you are leaving it to the choice of the teachers and the students as which one would work best? Or you're developing new platforms to upload things and conduct meetings and all that stuff?
Well, as far as I know, a lot of people are using Google Classroom, and WhatsApp is used extensively. Almost all the colleges that I asked, they use, and some of them use Zoom. I think Zoom is also used extensively, and I think emails also done are also used.
So I understand that right now the available platforms over internet are being used. But what matters is the willingness of the teachers and the good thing, the labor of love that they started even when the government directive had come. It's wonderful talking to you.
All right. Thank you so much.
That is what was happening with Mizoram, and it's wonderful to understand whether or not online education is a replacement of the regular education, but then 85% is a very good number. But we cannot deny that the rest 15% is also longing to get all the facilities that they are supposed to get even during this pandemic. We have already got ourselves connected to Dr. A.K. Mishra, State Liaison Officer, Higher and Technical Education, Government of Arunachal Pradesh from Itanagar. We welcome you, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Our listeners are all over and they are waiting to get your opinion. What I want to know first from you is that what are college students of Arunachal Pradesh doing right now? This is about 9:30. What do you guess a college student must be doing right at this moment? Are they downloading material like videos and assignments, or are they waiting for tomorrow for a specific time to attend live classes?
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity about the students doing at the moment in Arunachal Pradesh. And I think this is the nice venture initiated by All India Radio Northeast. I'm very much thankful to you all. And,
thank you for all your praises. You're always there.
So during this pandemic COVID-19, as you know that in northeastern states in general and Arunachal Pradesh particular, the internet is very much erratic. But apart from that, our students is really taking advantage of online courses, which is being initiated by all the higher educational institutions in Arunachal Pradesh. Our Honorable Minister Education as well as Secretary Education is taking keen interest to promote the cause of, the study of our students. They are using very much the Google Classroom as well as some virtual classroom, and some meeting is being convened through Zoom also. Even our Honorable Minister and Secretary Education, they interacted with all the college principals as well as the higher educational institutions regarding, the initiative that has been initiated by the respective institution. And most of the students are taking advantage of Google Classroom at the moment.
So I understand that the existing platforms are right now being used. We'll come to that, but it will be interesting to know about the students and the teachers. While dealing with young adults, the students of college, university, one thing that becomes easy for you all is the fact that probably the learners in that age and maturity are already coming with a mindset to learn. Hence, willingness of the learners is already a tool in the hands of the educators. Does it make things easier? I mean, you really don't have to make them come and learn and create interest in the subject. They're already interested. Does it make things a little easier, sir?
Yeah, this is very much true, whatever you are saying. See, this is also some sort of, the new type of learning for many students, particularly for school students, I would say. And ICT-based teaching, learning and evaluation, I think is the need of the hour. And conventional teaching also should be changed to technology-enabled classroom. And in the context of change scenario created by COVID-19 particularly, we are compelled to go ahead with this modern technology to make aware our students and to impart education. I think that this is very much useful, and at many occasions the use of technology would make teaching more interesting and meaningful among the students, and this is really a wonderful experience among the students, as because we are using many methods like also on Doordarshan Arun Prabha channel.
Okay,
we are
sir.
utilizing for school students. The report is very much encouraging, and because while using this ICT, the students are getting benefit, and also they are very much interested to learn through this, the local.
Sir, it's interesting that I understand that the teachers and educators and the students that you interact are quite excited about the situation, new situation, and they are quite excited that they are using new platform and new means of teaching. But you just now have mentioned that certain parts of the state, maybe most of the part other than the city, the internet connection is erratic. Yeah. So, and I understand that maybe for education nothing much was necessary. Dissemination of knowledge, pen and paper and proper connection with the educator, could be teacher or guru as we used to call them in ancient time. But right now we need a laptop and at least a smartphone. I'm afraid even if proper internet connection is not available throughout the day, even for downloading materials, you need some internet connection. How do you cater to this? And how, don't you think this excitement, this happiness that the teachers and students are enjoying is not being shared by those deprived of a laptop and a proper internet connection?
Yeah, this is a very pertinent question which you have raised, and also we are much concerned about it. But I would like to tell you that considering the poor and erratic internet connectivity, and in many parts we don't have that Android phone available with the students. So for this very particular, we have started our own program over Arun Prabha Doordarshan local channel. And apart from that, in almost all the villages, they have their, television sets. And under Swayam Prabha also, there are 36 dedicated channels are there. From those channels, few students are taking advantage of Swayam Prabha.
Okay, that makes my question a little more soft, that people are resorting to the programs in television. That's wonderful. But it must be interesting to know also that how all the classes, all the subjects, and in school and college we have a routine, and how this routine will be maintained in a TV channel. Can you elucidate on that, sir?
Yeah, we have chalked out, and we have also prepared a list of group of teachers, and our Secretary Education is personally monitoring all the things. Also, I am one of the member of that team. And, we have selected teachers, and we directly recorded their teaching that is being telecasted through Arun Prabha DD channel. And apart from that, we have also
all the subjects, all the classes?
From 6 onwards, we have started. And this is appreciated by many persons. Still, that program is going on in morning from 9:30 to 11. Apart from that, Swayam Prabha. Also, we have started taking help of a few teachers. At least we are disseminating the information to all stakeholders in the state. And we have made certain, the video tutorials, and we have uploaded on YouTube.
Okay.
And we have provided the link to the respective institutions. That is also being, given to the learners, and they are taking advantage.
That is a wonderful thing as far as the dissemination of knowledge is concerned. And also, as you said, it is being made very interesting when we are giving, lessons through video or through TV, because you don't have a chance of repeating or making mistakes, so things become quality. But sir, one thing very important, it is not only about disseminating knowledge, it is also about skills. If I'm talking about computer education, if I'm talking about the practicals of the science students, and most importantly, maths. You can do thousands of sums in your video, but then how will you ensure that they are actually being done by the student, each of them?
Yeah, exactly. This is also our concern, as because not only in science subject, in geography also, we could not able to conduct that, the practical things. Some practical video tutorial we have uploaded, but still we are lagging behind, and we are thinking that if time will permit us, then they will sort out some more modalities to impart, the practical knowledge to our students. And as we know that online teaching, some occasion may not replace live classroom.
That is wonderful, sir. I don't know why I was longing for this answer.
This is my thinking, as because the students are very much worried about their
Yes, sir.
practical classes.
But at least we can do something. It is very wonderful talking to you. I have made very sharp questions to you, but finally, yes, as we say, India jeetega, Corona harega. So we shall overcome, and we learn many lessons, but probably regular education can never be replaced by all these. But definitely this will make our regular education system little more fine-tuned, little more quality, and yes, that's a wonderful thing. So thank you so much for joining us, and it's nice that all our listeners are able to know that the teachers in Arunachal and the educators are doing their best and almost have touched what they have aimed for. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let us talk to Mr. Ambrose Marak. We welcome you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, fine. I'm good.
It's wonderful to have you here. We were just talking about the opportunities and challenges faced by educators. Well, let me use this term in a broad perspective. First of all, our listeners must be interested to know how are the teachers of Meghalaya doing, because Shillong, the capital of Meghalaya, is considered a hub of education for decades. Your teachers of Meghalaya, are they learning new skills or getting acquainted with electronic gadgets and tools to help them, or they are more concerned with how they can pass on the materials to the students in the form of notes or anything?
Well, thank you very much for this wonderful time. Actually, this after the pandemic has happened, the initiative has been initiated by the Meghalaya, and the parents, schools and students. We got the involvement for the online class, and there has been responses for this online class, especially in urban areas. Well, Shillong being this educational hub of the state of Meghalaya, I think there has been wonderful responses from the teachers, parents, school heads, and students. And number of platforms has been provided to the schools and the institutions across the state. All India Radio, telecast, and the Doorbell telecast and e-learning portals. We have the government of Meghalaya has set up these WhatsApp, Zoom classes, Google Hangouts, CR online classes, YouTube videos.
Are you using all those platforms, or you are giving some suggestion that for this purposes this platform should be used, or for that purposes other platform should be used? Because as far as YouTube videos are concerned, the moment I try to know the properties of triangle, I think good number of videos would come up. I being from Shillong, I'll have my soft corner for the videos uploaded from Meghalaya, but then there will be so many other options available for my son.
I would like to tell you, there has been a wonderful state of Meghalaya.
Yes, sir.
We have the social media course like 509 apps for this online 1,068 and for CR there are 5 likes on 1K. So there are response on online class, which government in the state of Meghalaya. Very, very good. As well as
Well, it's wonderful to know that the teachers of Meghalaya and everybody concerned are doing very well. And of course, it will be interesting to know how do you find out that students are taking the benefit from what the features and facilities that is being provided from the educator's side.
benefit is very, very good. We have got so many responses from the teachers, parents, and the students also. Like we have the social media WhatsApp responses from so many different places that thank you, see our school. This is a response from the parents. My daughter, come on.
I'm sure all those thank yous really boost the moral of the teachers and educators. But when we think and sit down, we must be also thinking about how is the assessment process be made foolproof. Will you throw some light on that?
Of course, this has been a challenge for everybody, not only for the state of Meghalaya, but across the country, across Northeast India, assessment of online classes. It is very difficult. But the department has been able to initiate by using online survey for the computers students and the RT and course. They have initiated a curriculum that could include online assessment.
That is true. It was wonderful, very nice talking to you. Will you give any last message in one sentence or some one-liner to our teachers and students? For the rest of the listeners, maybe they can think. Your message for teachers and students.
My own message, all the teachers, parents, and the students, that we should prepare up for the worst. Hope that online will be able out at least to 99.
Okay, thank you. It was wonderful talking to you and dear listeners. We had bold words from Mr. Marak that yes, definitely we will overcome all the challenges that we are thrown into. Be it assessment, be it the teaching method, be it the manner in which students are receiving it. Let me talk to our next expert who joins us from Gangtok, Mr. Bhim Thatal, Director of Primary Education, Government of Sikkim, and he is also the director of the project going on in Sikkim, which is known as Samagra Shiksha. How are you, Mr. Bhim?
Thank you, Ananya. It's nice that we got connected ultimately.
Ultimately, we got connected. Yes, sir. Especially want to know this because Sikkim had been free from COVID-19 for a long time, and only recently they have had these 3 cases. So life must have been very normal. Were the children going to school during that time?
Until we recorded some cases of COVID-19, that is around 2 to 3 cases recently till yesterday, things have been going very well. And let me tell you one thing, that Sikkim started this lockdown on 17th of March, which was about 8 days before the nation started the lockdown.
Oh, you're very careful.
In fact, yes. We had, having seen the developments around the world and having understood that this is likely to hit us, so our government thought that it is better we do things in advance. So we started closing our schools. All the educational institutions on 17th of March, we closed down every single educational institution in Sikkim.
That's wonderful to know how it has been tackled, and it has become very effective the way you had been strict with the people. But what are your small kids doing right now? The ones who would be going to school early morning, 9 o'clock every day, right now, what are they doing? How their mornings are and how their days are?
Yeah, in fact, the question is very interesting. Let me tell you one thing, that during this lockdown period, we have given absolute liberty to the kids, especially the smaller ones, from pre-primary till class 4, and we have not burdened them with any kind of online education access, because they may not be so adapted to this, online education and app-based education. So we have catered to the needs of class 5 to 8 at elementary level. We have program through All India Radio Gangtok. We tied up with All India Radio Gangtok.
All right.
And started, broadcasting regular interactive lessons every day except for Sunday. And we also started lessons through local television. We utilized and harnessed almost all the social sites and the media available to us.
Okay, that is very sweet and nice to know that you did not burden your small kids with online education. Yes, I was wondering how they must be handling this. You are the project director of Samagra Shiksha. So what it is all about? And how is it has suffered this pandemic?
Like every other state in the country, we have also suffered a lot during this pandemic in terms of education. Sikkim, in fact, starts its academic session from February, and during February and March month, these are really crucial months for us because education, we start our academic session, and in one hand, we were struggling with management-related matters like delivery of books and uniforms, deployment of teachers, admission, etc. When this pandemic set in, and our entire preparation for another academic session was in fact battered. Yeah, but somehow we rose, and we have one proprietary app called Sikkim EduTech app, through which we reached out to almost all the elementary, secondary level students and students at college level, including those in the private sector.
That brings in an interesting question.
Yes.
Why you have to have another app when everybody else is talking about all these platforms that are available, which is meant for meetings, and they are going for live classes, and I mean, why you had to go for another new app?
Yeah, the answer is to your question only. When you asked another question a little while ago about Samagra Shiksha, what does it do? So this is Sikkim EduTech app is devised and developed by under the Samagra Shiksha project. This is an app which is cloud-based, and it doesn't store your content in the mobile phone.
Okay.
So that is one beauty of it. And students and teachers, and including parents, also have to get registered in this app. Once you are registered in the app, the teacher can push the lessons to the students, and the students also can submit their assignment. So this is how we keep connected with the students.
And everything there is there in the cloud.
It has a huge library of e-resources and in the cloud.
And individual storage capacity?
Maybe more than 3 tetra, or even more than that.
More than 3 TB.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. Let me ask you quickly the important and pertinent things in this regard. First of all, what's your opinion? Can these online means, no matter how much you try and how effective you try to make it, can be a replacement for the regular system, or can they supplement the pedagogy that goes on in various institutes?
Yeah, of course. In fact, this online system of education may not replicate what we are doing in the classroom.
Okay.
Because there is no alternative to that. However, the online education system, digital learning would suffice to whatever we have been doing. You know, there was a time when we used to have education as a means to know about IT and ICT. Now, IT and ICT has become another means to know about education. The most important thing, and you also were talking something about pedagogy and the shift of paradigm here. Now, what I see here is that from andragogy to pedagogy, now we have been witnessing another revolution in education, which is termed as hautagogy, you know.
Okay, what is that?
Hautagogy is another system of education where students learn on their own. They access resources from the internet, from friends, from
which you call as learners' autonomy?
Yeah, that is learner's autonomy and learner-centric.
Learner-centric. Another pertinent question, that is the reach out. How do you manage this reaching out of the things? Because this is the concern for everyone. Two aspects of it, the equipment, the smartphone and the laptop, and then internet connection.
Yeah, so when we talk about reaching out to the students, there are these 3 basic things. Accessibility of the reach out scheme, and whether these are accepted, that is acceptability, and ultimately affordability, whether a person is able to afford a smartphone or not. So we did all these things. We have our own proprietary app which caters to all possible extent. It suffices everything. So apart from that, we have this television and All India Radio. And now the most important thing is that we made an assessment of those shadow areas where there is no reach of internet, no connectivity, nor smartphones with the students. So in that case, what we did was that we loaded many laptops, e-learning contents, and sent these laptops those areas, you know, where students had no other accessibility. And with these preloaded laptops, we started imparting education to the students there.
Well, that's a wonderful solution that you all have thought. And yes, from the very beginning, I understand that you must have thought about how it will reach out to various things. My takeaway from what you said, sir, is one thing that yes, pedagogy is important, and pedagogy might get a paradigm shift, but yes, replacement of regular education may not be possible with all these, but it can of course supplement the regular system and can make things better post pandemic when we are all together and we are again going to schools and colleges for various purposes. These online materials, these videos, these experiences of teachers and students will make things much better. We will not waste time perhaps when we are there in the class imparting education. Yes, not imparting merely information, but knowledge, wisdom, and education in the broader sense of the term. But yes, knowledge part can be taken care by all these experiences that we are getting during this time. Thank you so much for all your inputs. Let us conclude, and we shall recover from this pandemic and with a newer self, and we will find out new education system, but of course not replacing the traditional ones that we have had. Thank you so much, all the panelists. This Radio Bridge program was produced by Mr. J. Gante. Engineers on duty were L.P. Warjari and Aldo Karpungor, and production assistant Mumsi Dora Bla. I take leave of you. Thank you so much.